good? Oh, I think we are. It says stop streaming, so I think we are live. I think. Oh, whoops. Air conditioner's on. That would have been bad. There we go. Alright. I think we're good. I think. Let me get the stream up on my phone. Back online. I think. Alright, we're good. Cool. Cool. Hello, hello. That is downloading, and let me join the voice chat. Hello.
Hello.
Oh, there you are. I am live.
You are?
I am.
I didn't get a notification. Oh, you are.
Yeah. And I don't know if you guys are audible on the stream or not, but we'll find out.
I'm on the stream.
Okay, cool. So you should start hearing yourself fairly shortly. Live streaming. That's good. Okay. I'm just gonna close out of that. Cool. We'll see if anyone joins the chat. Do you guys want me to use your normal names?
Yeah, I don't mind.
Hi.
I think Jordan's fine with that as well.
Hope so. You just said it. And what am I doing? Whatever. Okay. Is Jordan there right now?
Hi.
Oh, hi. Hello.
Oh, wow.
Okay, cool. Shax! Lord Shax, you're back! Sorry for the momentary silence. I was making sure the stream's working. How are you, sir? I apologize that last week you were not able to join because I actually apologize for a lot. We only just now got the schedule going for this podcast, so hopefully every week we'll be able to get it going around this time. A couple reasons why it's late this week. Number one is I was just ill-prepared this week, but also, too, I'm sick. Ish. I feel like I'm getting worse during the day, but that's fine. And number three, I was also slightly waiting for the video to upload, announcing the timestamp for, not timestamp, the time every week for the podcast. So, there are a few reasons why this week I'm 20 minutes late, but yeah. Welcome back. Glad you were able to join us this week at the very least. It's always fun when you're around. And I guess we're good to go into it. So, I have my very close friends, Jordan and Ali, with me today. And yeah, I'm curious. Are you guys into cryptozoology? I think it's technically called, or whatever. Just like unexplainable phenomena.
A little bit. Scares me a little, but I'll be okay.
Yeah, you got Ali.
You know, I'm originally, I was raised in Egypt, so the pharaohs and the mummies and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I didn't even consider that. You've probably been exposed to it for a longer time, huh? That's cool. I'm glad you're doing good, Shax. Yeah, thank you so much. I don't know what it is. It could just be allergies, could just be whatever. Could be Black Plague. Which, if it is, I'll take it. It speeds up the process, but, you know. Regardless. So this week, part of me wants to... Well, actually, let's do this. It's slowly becoming tradition. So let's go Cryptid Wiki. I feel like every week I start out with that, so I might as well start making that a habit. List of cryptids. And for the last few weeks, I've been wanting to get into the Wendigo. Is that a giant frog? Humanoid frog. I love that so much. Every week I talk about the Wendigo just because it's like the one that I latch onto so heavily, that I really want to understand and delve deep into. But part of me also wants to save that for a special or more special occasion, just because it's such a well-known cryptid. It's like behind the Skinwalker, it is the cryptid for a lot of people who look at the stuff on the surface level. So I don't know. We have a long list of cryptids, and I'm wondering if you guys, as the co-hosts this week, and hopefully more weeks in the future, have any that you're specifically interested in learning about. I do have a list here that I use pretty frequently. And if you guys just want to take a look at that and see if there's one that catches your eye that we can go into, yeah, let me know. There's not a lot, but there's enough to make the pickings pretty healthy.
Yeah, I know there's one where it's like a large black dog that you can see sometimes in cemeteries, and if you look at it, then it like your fate has become death like in the next few days. I have no idea what it's called. I just know I saw something about it a few years ago, and it stuck with me.
Okay.
Came across of something. I was on my Snapchat and I got one of those like ads, and it's talking about how they had like Michigan Dogman sightings.
Sure, let's look that up. Michigan Dogman, you said?
Yeah.
Hell Dog. Yeah. The one with the cemetery sounds interesting too. Let's just see if that real quick. Hell Dog. Huh. Oh, the Charger. Yeah, we're looking at cars. That's what we're looking at.
Definitely.
So... Alright. Why don't we do that this week? Why don't we look at the Michigan Dogman? And yeah, I think that cemetery one sounds fun. Let's put that on the back burner, but definitely higher on the list. Okay. I like that one. That's cool. Anything to do with cemeteries, I love it. I love cemeteries. But Michigan Dogman. And so if anybody's watching who is new to the way that this podcast is run, to make a long story short, we pick a cryptid for the week. We spend anywhere from 2 to 2.5 hours, usually 2.5 hours so far. And we just look into what is it? Like, are there accounts for it? If there are accounts, who said what was said where, when was it said, and going from there, like, where does the legend begin? Why is it still relevant in today's society, I guess you would call it, where so many of these have, you hear a lot of people saying, oh yeah, this stuff can never be real, there's nothing out there like this, blah, blah, blah. Which, on one hand, for a lot of these, that could probably be fairly said, like Loch Ness Monster, it's the whole origin is a hoax. But why is this still talked about, Like, there's a lot to digest, even with something that we almost are 100% certain is not real. Well, if it's not real, then why do we still talk about it? And outside of the, oh, remember that happened? No. I'm talking like, why do people still want to believe it? So we look at everything encompassing any one specific cryptid. There's a lot of cryptids in the world, as I'm sure a lot of people know. And this week we are going to be talking about the Michigan Dogman. And the nice part is, I don't know about Jordan Ali, but I personally don't know anything about any of these. Every week it's something new to me. For the Michigan Dogman, do either of you guys know anything about it?
Nope, I'm in your same boat.
Cool.
I just ran through it like literally last week, and I thought it was hilarious because I wanted to join the last episode, and I just ran across that for the first time.
Oh wow! Oh well, It's a hidden blessing that you didn't join then, I guess, because otherwise we might not be able to talk about this if you weren't on the app at that time. That's pretty cool. So, the Michigan Dogman, and let's... Oh, you know what I could do for you two? Let me actually...
Thank you.
Yeah.
Stream on Discord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be smart, huh? That way I'm not just randomly talking, as far as you guys are aware. Alright, you guys able to see it?
Let me... Yep, thank you.
Okay. And are you good, Ollie?
Yep.
Alright, cool. So, simple search. I use Firefox, and then on top of Firefox, I use DuckDuckGo. So a lot of these searches aren't going to be the same. I just whacked the microphone, sorry. Aren't going to be the same as Google users, which is actually kind of helpful, because that means if you ever do research on your own, whoever's watching this, that means you're probably going to end up getting different results, which can be really cool, I think. Stuff I'm probably not going to see unless I try to go on my way to look for it. So it's one of those, just because I'm seeing it doesn't mean you're going to get the same thing. It's almost like an RNG, like Binding of Isaac. It's pretty cool. But there is a lot about... There's a lot about this. This is more than I got for the Dover Demon. Dover Demon was kind of a very, like, one-case scenario type of deal, where it was a one-and-done, one sighting, 3 different times, and then a 4th sighting by one of the original people, and that was it. So, it makes sense why there would be more on the Michigan Dogman than there would be a Dover Demon. But we're going to stop talking about the past, and let's look at the Michigan Dogman. So, in Michigan folklore, the Michigan Dogman was allegedly witnessed in 1887. Oh, this is going back.
Yep.
In Wexford County, Michigan, the creature is described as 7-foot-tall, blue-eyed or amber-eyed, bipedal canine-like animal with the torso of a man and a fearsome howl that sounds like a human screaming. It's funny that this is the second time, and actually the second cryptid that we were even looking into, full stop, period. And yet again, we have differentiations between the color of the eyes. I'm interested to see where that goes, because Dover Demon was the same exact thing. I think it was either yellow or green, I think it was, depending, or red. Definitely one was yellow, depending on who was making the claim of seeing it. So, the fact that, again, we get this sort of change in eye color is interesting. According to legends, the Michigan Dogman appears in a 10-year cycle that falls on years ending in 7. Oh. Sightings have been reported in several locations throughout Michigan, primarily in the northwestern quadrant of the lower peninsula. I'm an idiot, I was about to say Pennsylvania. In 1987, the legend of Michigan Dogman gained popularity when disc jockey Steve Cook, so a DJ at WTCM-FM, recorded a song about the creature and its reported sightings. Okay, cool.
Can we listen to that?
You know what? We can. I doubt I'll get copyright struck for that, but
Nah.
let's give that a listen. So this is Steve Cook.
Yeah, we gotta do all of our research, right?
Exactly. I swear to God, if this starts like throwing out every slur possible, I'm not gonna be happy. Michigan Dogman. We get a live version too, 6 minutes. Alright, let's give this a listen. We're gonna listen to it together. And
Maybe we can listen to the first, 2 minutes.
We'll see.
Depending on how good it is.
Yeah, I mean, hey, if it's a banger, it's a banger, you know? I'll listen to...
Steve Cook might go hard, you never know.
Exactly. He's just like me, for real.
On God.
For real, on God. This is the story of Michigan's Dogman from the Luther, MI area. The Luther, MI area. Okay, that's important. The song was wrote and performed by Steve Cook, a DJ from the Traverse City area. And then you get all these comments, blah, blah, blah. I thought the guy said idiots. That would have been hilarious. All right, let's give this a listen. Steve Cook. Oh, and credit, I guess, Mike Hodgson uploaded this, and it has 10,000 views, and there are the commenters. Cool, we did our stuff. Can't get sued. Let's go. And let's turn this up. Ow. Ow. I didn't think we were going to be in a rainstorm. Okay.
Alright, good afternoon, everybody. Oh, I guess you can hear.
Wow.
This is the
perfect
quality of a
quality.
potato. Yeah. Wow.
The legend of Michigan's Dogman.
Michigan Dogman. Okay, the legend.
Heard the song before? Get ready because you're not going to want to camp out tonight.
Are there any instruments?
Tell you just a little bit of history of the song. Most of you know it, but some of you may not. I wrote it back in 1987.
Yep.
As an April Fool's joke for the radio station, WTCM. And it caught up in a big way, thanks to a little town not far from here called Luther, where a cabin got attacked by some kind of an animal that they could not identify.
All right, let me rewind that really quick, and this is the part where I get out my notepad.
I was gonna say it makes sense at 6 minutes long.
Yeah.
Well, 7.
Wow, 6 minutes and 56 seconds. Yeah, I get that YouTube money. This guy isn't playing the algorithm right. Okay, so he mentioned that somebody saw the... Well, got attacked by the Dogman. See if we can make it out.
Attacked by some kind of an animal that they caught up in a big way, thanks to a little town not far from here called Luther, where a cabin got attacked by some kind of
Captain
an
or
animal
captain
that
or
they could not
something. I can't make it up.
back in 1987. And after that happened, it went to newspapers all over the
Oh, I thought he said
country.
Kevin.
Paul Harvey talked about it on the radio.
Kevin, maybe.
And it went nationwide, and since that time it's gone worldwide.
I'll write down Kevin for now.
And I think the most fun thing of all is that we donate proceeds from the sales of the song.
All right, very good. You're a good person for donating.
Music stage. There's a table set up. You'll see my mug.
Skip, skip, skip.
Yeah.
The legend of Michigan's Bray.
Oh, is this the start? There we go. Okay. Very dramatic. Very long intro.
Very long intro, wow.
Been almost 30 seconds, not said a word. I can't hear a word he's saying.
Yeah.
You might want to pull up the lyrics on like a side tab.
That is a good idea. Steve Cook, Michigan Dogman lyrics. Watch it be on Genius. Ah, lyrics.com. Okay. No, it's not on Genius. That's alright. Alright, lyrics.com. The Legend of Michigan's Dogman. Oh, there's no...
Great!
Alrighty, well then. Oh, and it's...
So that was that.
Yeah, okay, cool. Unless, what is this? Oh, it's a link to the page posted on the link.
Nice.
The citation.
The citation is citating itself as a citation.
Bro. Steve Cook is doing
The
God's work.
the balls on that. To do that, that's like say, yeah, I can prove it. I can prove it. And just listen to me. I am the proof. Songlyrics.com. Let's try this. Oh,
There we go. Oh,
There
maybe you
it
can
is.
hear it, and it's not going to be
Yeah.
the quality of a tin can. Just kidding.
Nope, I can't. Okay, cool. Alright, well, we can't hear a word he says, so let's just read through it real quick. Not the whole thing,
Yeah.
but pick up parts. So,
I mean, you could sing it for us if you'd like. Just
I'm gonna
guess.
pass on that. I've only had one singing lesson so far. Exactly.
Oh,
No,
okay.
yeah, there were no lyrics on the other one because nobody could understand the words he was saying. Okay, so on an early summer morning in June. So early summer morning in June is when the legend began. A nameless lodging camp in Wexford County where the main sea river ran. Good rhyming. Lumberjacks, they saw an animal. So apparently lumberjacks saw something they thought was a dog. In a playful mood, it looked like it was having fun. A logger named Johnson grabbed a stick and poked around inside. I don't want to comment on your stupid... Then the thing let out an unearthly scream and came out, stood upright. Okay, so Johnson grabbed a stick and decided to poke. Okay. Hey, you see a dog that doesn't look like a dog? Why don't you grab that stick, Johnson, poke it? $5, bet.
So smart.
So stupid.
Nothing could go wrong, right?
No, nothing. They just packed up their belongings and... Oh, wait. I think I skipped a lyric. Thing none of those men ever said very much about what happened after then. They packed up their belongings and left. 10 years later, in 97, farmer near Buckley was found, slumped over his plow. His heart stopped. There were dog tracks all around. His heart had... So what, the guy died? Okay.
Heart attack, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was caused... The heart attack was caused by the Michigan Wolfman, or whatever.
Yeah,
Dogman.
imagine if you see that. You're going to be like, what the...
Yeah, true. I mean, and farmers are usually pretty old, stereotypically speaking, so it would kind of make sense. Okay, so some guy, he was near Buckley, so Buckley. He was near Buckley, heart attack, died. 7 years passed when the turn of the century. They say a crazy old widow had a dream of dogs that circled her house at night and walked around like menace creatures. So some woman had a dream. In 1917, a sheriff was out walking, found a driverless wagon with tracks in the dust like wolves had been stalking near the roadside. 4-horse team lay dead with their eyes open wide. The vet finished up his examination. He looked and said they died of fright. It's the dumbest way to die. In 37, a schooner captain said several crew members had reported a pack of wild dogs roaming Bowers Harbor. His story was never reported. In 57, a man of the cloth found claw marks on an old church door. The newspaper said they made by a dog. Stood at 7'4". I don't know if I believe 7'4", but okay. In 67,
That's pretty tall.
Yeah, it is. And I feel like he might have just pulled that out of thin air because it was just like, it rhymed. The most human thing ever poking. Yeah. I mean, all right, Shax, you got me there. I guess it is in our nature for as humans to just go, oh, look at that thing. Pat, pat, poke, poke. I guess you have a point.
True.
Yeah. It's very on brand, as the kids say. In 67,
We're a little dumb.
A little. In 67, a van load of hippies told a park ranger named Quinlan.
That's random.
Imagine having a kid and naming the kid Quinlan.
Oh, sorry, Quinlan.
Unless it's the last name, in which case I feel even worse. So Quinlan was woken up in the night by a scratch at the window, Dogman looking in and grinning. Quinlan saw the Dogman grinning. In 77, there were screams in the night near the village of Bel Air. Oh, Will Smith! Village of Bel Air, could have been a bobcat, could have been the wind, nobody looked up there. Then in the summer of 87, near Luther, it happened again at a cabin in the woods. It looked like maybe someone had tried to break in. There were cuts around the doors made by very sharp teeth and claws. He didn't wear shoes because he didn't have feet. Oh, I thought you were talking about the person. He walked on just 2 paws. So far this year, no stories have appeared. Have the Dogmen gone away? Have they disappeared? Soon enough, I guess we'll know, because this is the time to fear for another 10 years to come around. The 7th year is here. And somewhere in the north woods, darkness, a creature walks upright, and the best advice he ever gives to never go out, ... at night. Night.
Wait, so is it every 10 years?
Every 10 years, start ending
On the
with
7th.
a 7. So, like, 87, 97, 07, 17, 27, blah, blah, blah.
So there were scratch marks on the door, and this thing was obviously large and powerful, but it never got in.
Right.
Okay.
Right. There were marked tracks around the cabin, apparently, but it never actually made it inside the cabin, whatever it is. So, the good news is we actually have a place to start, which is these reports. But that's just from the first paragraph on the wiki, and it's not a very long wiki, so let's keep going and see what else we can gather. But at the very least, we've got 3 or 4 reports that we could look into, with a report in Buckley and Bowers Harbor, a guy named Quinlan, and a report in Bel Air. Those are 4 locations, all hopefully within the Luther area of Michigan, because if it isn't, that'll stay on a consistent. It'll be consistent.
Yeah, I'm glad it's 2022 and I don't live in Michigan.
Right? Exactly. This creature was unknown to most of the modern world until very late in 20th century. It's said to have been stalking around the area around the Mainstay River since the days... Oh, Call of Duty Vanguard officially updated. Cool. It was around the river since the days of the Ottawa tribes lived there. Authentic sources for sightings made prior to 1987, however, have never been documented beyond Steve Cook's song, really discussed below. So allegedly there was the Dogman that in 1887 in Wexford County with the Lumberjacks. In 37 in Paris, Michigan, Robert Fortney was attacked by 5 wild dogs. Said one of the 5 walked on 2 legs. Reports similar creatures also came from Allegan area in the 50s, and Mainstay and Cross Village in 67. Linda S. Godfrey, in her book The Beast of Bray Road, compares the Mainstay sightings to a similar creature in Wisconsin known as the Beast of Bray Road. Interesting. Okay. And then they talk about the Cook song. So, the Cook song. In 87, he recorded The Legend, which initially played as an April Fool's Day joke. He based songs on myths and legends from around North America and never had an actual Michigan Dogman at the time of recording. I made it completely up from my own imagination as an April Fool's prank for the radio and stumbled my way to a legend that goes all the way back to Native American times. Cook maintains a skepticism about the possibility of a real Dogman, and he had this to say about the matter: tremendously skeptical because I've sort of seen the way folklore becomes built from the creation of the song to what it's turned into, but I do believe people who think saw something really to see something. I also think Dogman provides them with an avenue to explain what they couldn't explain for themselves. Cook recorded the song with a keyboard backing and credited it to Bob Farley. After he played the song, Cook received calls from listeners saying that they encountered a similar creature in next week's. It was the most requested song on the station. He also had cassettes for songs sold for $4 and donated proceeds from the single to an animal shelter. Over the years, he had received more than 100 reports of the creature's existence. In 2010, the creature featured in an episode of Monster Quest, whatever that is. In January 2017, the creature was featured in the season 2 of Great Lakes Wolfman Dogman Wendigo of Monsters and Mysteries in America. Other references to Dogman include various YouTube channels, including Dogman Encounters Radio, Dogman Narrative, blah, 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 blah. Cook later added verses to the song in 97 after hearing a report of an animal break-in on an unknown canine at a cabin in Luther, Michigan. He re-recorded it in 07 with a mandolin backing. I like how after all that, they just have to get in. And by the way, there was a mandolin in the background of the song. Very important.
Very important.
And then there was a film in 2011 where they released a film called Dogman starring some guy named Larry Joe Campbell. The movie premiered at the State Theater in Traverse City. The film included a brief segment of the Gable film, with permission, blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. So, Dog Soldiers, that is something for another day, but Beast of Bray Road will be kept open in its own separate tab for now. So, very cool. We have the whole overview now, and I would actually like to look into... Now, let's get rid of this. I would like to look into that... What was it? The cabin one? That it was an actual reporting. Where is it?
Oh, Unknown Canon. It's right on top of feature film. The last line under the Cook.
Okay, yeah. After hearing a report... Yeah, thank you. Okay. Unknown canine at a cabin in Luther, Michigan. Let's start there. Luther, Michigan. Unknown. I'll just look up canine. Break-in. Cabin. Try to get the keywords in there. There's a video about it. I'm guessing this is just a,
That's in 2018.
Yeah.
Gotta have the 7.
This was made in, 22. Actually. Wow, that's... Okay, I did... That... Gonna ignore that. This encounter takes place in Upper Peninsula, Michigan, 2018. Alright, so there's nothing there. Michigan Dogman. Mystery, Pennsylvania. Canine breaks free from cage. Escapes. Huh. Alright, well, I'm not seeing anything with that search. I was hoping to start off with something specific, but I might have to start going down the list. Unless you guys can think of a different way to start to start looking into these reports. I'm not sure how to attack that.
I mean, we can maybe see if there's like a police reporting or something about that break-in specifically.
You can start there, yeah. Machine Dogman, cabin, break-in, police report. Mysterious Michigan, okay. That's not terrible. Sasquatch Chronicles talked about it. Okay, nice. Coffee house, writers. Local police investigated an attempted cabin break-in. Okay, that looks like more of a 10,000 view down onto the subject more than it is like an actual into the nitty-gritty. It's similar to the Beast of Bray Road. Yeah, that's what I'm keeping in as an ace up my sleeve, because if we end up hitting a brick wall with this, I'll still have this to go back to and start looking at. Which is interesting because it's also called the Wisconsin Werewolf, whereas we're dealing with the Dogman, which aren't werewolves literally dogmen, right? I thought.
Yeah, because were supposed to mean man, and you have man wolf, literally. Man wolf.
Okay, I didn't know where was man. Alright, let's start with the Sasquatch Chronicles. Because what would be a better place to start than there, right? This is just posting a video. I don't want to sit here and watch an entire other person's video. I could barely sit through a... Ooh! Dogman.jpg now. Okay.
Wow, that's some quality.
Alright.
A little small.
We're getting somewhere. It's the size of a thumbnail. And it's got the quality of my school grading, but it's something. Okay.
Yeah, I was going to suggest looking at images, even though they're all probably going to be fake.
Yeah.
Never know.
I'm seeing this one 2 times. This is everything uncategorized.wordpress, phantomsandmonsters.com. Can we start with a photo? No, stop it. No, stop it. Okay. The site is my computer safe on this site? There's nothing but ads.
Please don't get the virus.
I mean, it's fine. I can always cry.
That's how I solve my solutions. Or that's how I solve my problems. It's a solution.
I mean, it works, right? Alright, so this is an email from a guy named Mike. Hi, I'm Mike from the Chebogan, Michigan area. This is true what I'm about to describe. On November 24th, 2010, me and 2 of my friends were out at night at 12 a.m. Not hunting, but had weapons. We were looking for a spot to set up our blinds in muzzle loading season and cross a field. We continued through the field, came across some sort of game trail. We got 300 yards back. It started heavy breathing and snapping sounds of thick brush. We thought maybe coyotes, but around the corner, in front of us, maybe 60 yards, was something blacker than the woods. Standing on 2 feet and stood between 6'8" and 7'4". That might be where Tim Cook. Yeah, that might be where Tim Cook got the 7'4" line.
That's a basketball player.
Seriously. Hell Doge. Yeah, that's what we're doing with. Can you imagine why? There should be like dark versions of all the memes. We did that with Trollface. Why can't we have that with like Doge and the cats and all that? Keyboard cat playing like sinful music. That'd be cool. We slowly turn around and backtrack before we got the field. Same thing in front of us again. We turned around for a second and then turned back and it was gone. We got to the field. We noticed there were 4 or more of these creatures. 1 on each corner of the field just standing there. 4. At this point, we were freaking out. We made our way through the field, back. We hauled butt back home, and felt stalked. We have been out every night since then. Learned duties, blah. 25 yards, moving closer. At that point, I shot at it. There were 5 total that we saw at the first night. I shot at 1. We went all out. So you weren't a very good shot that night. Got it. In the field, it seems they were trying to herd us into a corner.
So there were multiple.
Yeah. That's not
Interesting.
just a one and done kind of, oh, hey, there's this legend of a singular creature. We're talking these things, if they exist, are breeding. They have a whole, like, social structure then.
Well, I mean, for them to live as long as they have, there has to be, like, some kind of breeding to them.
Well, that's true. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, they have been reported since, what was it, 1887, I think it was. So.
Because who knows what the lifespan of these things are.
Yeah.
Probably not going to be more than a human's.
Yeah. And I do see this down here. It's the same photo, but I don't know what that context is. So let's just give this a quick read through, see if there's anything we can pluck out of it, and then go from there. I mean, if you're brave enough, anything can be a furry, right?
Oh my gosh.
Saying. Maystark said it down in the comments. Is the Dogman a kind of furry? Like, technically speaking, if you have the ability to draw art, just saying. Alright, back in 2009, I received the following emails reference to at least 2 sightings of supposed Dogman in Bray County, Upper Peninsula. So, everything is taking place. Where is Luther? Luther, Michigan. Are we looking at the top? Yeah, top peninsula. So we are looking at like the top near the water of Michigan. I mean, Luther's a bit more to the side, but it's connected to the water. All right. Well, that's good to remember. We'll keep that in mind. Alright, so last fall, my son and I were driving on US 41 M28 towards the lakes of Michigan's Upper Peninsula again. Beast ran across the highway near Tioga Creek. Tioga Creek. Where is Tioga Creek? Michigan. Images. Maps? No. Tioga. No. Tioga Creek. Hello? Is this Michigan? I hate Apple Maps.
I think that's Kentucky.
That's Kentucky.
Oh. Oh, good point. I didn't notice that. Alright, so I'm not seeing it on maps, but that is okay. Tioga Creek, I had not heard this before reading the Phantoms and Monsters. Exactly what we saw. We are familiar with all animals living here. Moose regularly cross front drivers. We were very puzzled. It ran fairly fast, about 50 feet in front of our truck. It was strange. I wonder how fast they were going. Back, larger than a wolf. Very strange to see on your website. Contacted a witness for further detailed sighting. This is what they received. It did not look exactly like the video drawing saw, but very close. The side view shape of the animal was almost like an ape shape, with the front legs longer than the back legs, which made it run funny. It ran like a bear runs, with the exception of the back legs being shorter than if you could picture that. The front, from the angle from what I saw, looked like it must have had a wide chest. The head appeared wolf-like, but it definitely was not a wolf. The color was brown and black mixed. The hair seemed medium to long, like a wolf, and I remember thinking it might have had mange, must have had patches of hair missing. I was telling my son, about 13, about what I found on your site, and asked him what he remembered. He gave him the same description, how very strange place it was. He said the spring, he saw the same type of thing on a logging road near our house, and it ran across the trail. I know where he is talking about because I pick berries there, and usually have a weird feeling. A neighbor told me that area is Bigfoot Central, which I did not know or believe, but after doing further research today, there are tons of reports. Who knows what it is, but as long as it's not hurting anything, I hope it is left alone. I'm very familiar. Do know, and okay, so blah blah blah. And then different twists. So we saw with the Dover Demon a while ago. We saw with the Dover Demon a while ago that it only came out at night. I think it only came back at 12. It looks like the stream had a hiccup. Are we back? It looks like the stream is struggling right now. Yeah, okay, we're back. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know what went on there. OBS completely disconnected. We're back, though. Anyway, so it's not unheard of for these creatures, at least from the 2 I've looked into, and 3 if you count Camp Blues, that they only come out at night. So it's possible, because I'm seeing it says 12:10 a.m. and I think, didn't the driver say it was night of the truck? No, he doesn't give a time.
Aww.
That's unfortunate. Yeah, that would have been nice. Alright, well, regardless. Girlfriend and I went out to feed deer on November 22nd, 2008. We were in, I'm not even going to try to pronounce it, National Forest in northern Wisconsin. 12:10 a.m., totally dark out. Oh, wow, okay. Temperature was 11 degrees Fahrenheit. The wind was blowing from the northwest with the wind chill of 0 degrees Fahrenheit. And then we made a U-turn on the left onto an unfinished ATV trail and one of our 4x4 pickups heading towards blast. Oh, my goodness.
Oh my gosh, that's specific.
So detailed.
Can we see a description to see if its biology is possible? Yeah, you know what? Let me... Because, I mean, they have... It seems like the only pictures that they have of this thing are... poor quality, which we saw in the beginning, or that black and white one. It seems like black and white one may be tied to a movie, and even then, like this black and white one down here, there's nothing to gather from there, unfortunately. But we can start piecing it together on paper. So we're talking 6'8" to 7'4". It's I mean, there could be many so far. Many are possible, because the guy said that there was 4 to 5 when he was hunting, I think it was. And then we have mangy-like fur, at least on that one, which makes sense if we're talking about a predator. Because here's the thing, right? Whenever I try to talk through these, you always have to have the idea of, it could have been something else that is absolutely explainable. It could have been a gigantic wolf that just happened to be running weird. Maybe it had rabies. I don't even know if wolves can have rabies. But the point is, like, could have had disease that caused it to run on the back legs or whatever. It could have been anything. If that was the case, then is what they're saying able to be applied to everyday animals in the woods? Because, I mean, when we were dealing with the Dover Demon, for example, they were saying they had glowing eyes that were alien-like and was short with long tendril-like fingers. Can that be applied to any land animals? No, it can't. So now you have to look at it from the point of view of, if it can't be applied to other natural creatures, then you have to separate this whole instance of a reporting away from the possibility of something that we know, meaning it's either real and they're telling the truth, or the whole thing is a hoax. But at that point, you're running on faith. With something like this, we're talking about a very tall... Remember, on hind legs, a very tall, wolf-like creature with mangy fur running with a weird-shaped head. This guy is saying 12:10 at night, so it's possible this thing could be nocturnal. But if it's more nocturnal, then does that apply to canines? In which case, I guess. I mean, there are canine hunters out in the wild, but that usually hunt at night, but that's not the norm. Which is a little off for me. I think it's more of raccoon man than a dog man. I see more similarities with raccoons. That's a good observation. I will keep that in mind. That's a good observation. But I bet there is art of it, Maysock said. Yeah. I mean, if people can turn SCP into bait, then I'm sure the dog man isn't out of the question. So we're going to ignore this whole first paragraph of detail, aside from the fact that it was late at night. It was also in 2008, so that whole 7-year thing that Wikipedia said, that might have been just a shot in the dark based on what the song was on Cook. Because it seems like I'm seeing more non-7 ending years than I am years that end in 7. So, I don't know. Anyway. I got to the bottom of the hill and backed in and parked. I got out my pistol and loaded it, put it back in the holster. I grabbed my headlight with 3 bulbs and secured it to my head. I handed her a shaker LED flashlight. Proceeded to go back to my truck with a 5-gallon bucket. Oh my god. See, the more detail there is, the more I'm inclined to say I don't want to believe it, because there's no way that you would be able to remember 11 degrees Fahrenheit, 0 degrees Fahrenheit, 3 apples under 2 gallons of corn in a 5-gallon bucket at 12:10 a.m. with 2 ATV straps, tailgate down, unstrap the bucket. I mean, this sounds more like you're coming up with it as you write. This isn't like a real human saying, here's what I remember from a few years ago. This is someone just typing out with the first words that comes to their... Yeah, measures 12 inches heel to toe, about 1 inch wider than my shoe measures 4 inches at its no, I'm sorry. Unless you guys think that this has some merit, I'm not convinced.
Do you think maybe since it happens like every 7 years, specifically like the sighting specific, do you think maybe like it has to do something like with maybe the moon doing something every 10 years?
Possibly. I don't know if there is a... I'm not sure if there is a lunar cycle that occurs every 10 years. Lunar cycle that occurs every 10 years. What is this? So 9.3. As mentioned, the 18.6-year cycle is important in determining the weather, as it is half of this. 9.3 years cycles can be found in crop yields and in geological formations. So this is a nanocycles method of accurately dating geological formations. I don't think this is gonna get us anywhere particularly, but what about... I mean, it could be. I'm not gonna shoot that down and say no. Having a lunar cycle that occurs roughly every 10 years, even if it's off by like a half year, I'm not familiar with one. Although, you know what? That guy claimed it was November. As we're reading these, let's try to keep an idea of when these reports are being claimed. Like, in the year.
According to Wikipedia, it was like June 7th or something, right? For the Michigan.
I think so.
Or was it maybe one of the articles where the sightings happened?
Maybe, yeah. Yeah, that is a good point, though. I haven't seen any months, regardless. I know we saw June, I know we saw July, we saw November now. There's nothing in the first half of the year. It's all starting to get towards the end and or height of summer. But it's certainly not the beginning of summer, and definitely not spring. Yeah, let's keep that in mind. I think I'm just gonna scratch and scrub this site, because I don't really like that whole second. I don't like the amount of unnecessary details. That doesn't sound like I'm recalling something. This first one is far more believable than the other one, though.
Yeah, the one on the top.
Yeah.
Specifically because it's in Michigan. The second one seems like it's in Wisconsin or something.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'll keep my notes from the first one. I'll scrub the others. Disturbing Dogman footage. Right.
Wow, that's terrifying.
Right.
It's a video too.
Real shocking Dogman encounters in Alpena, Michigan. Okay. Let's give this a try. Of course it's a YouTube. Yeah. Alright, sure, buddy. You could have just put like a cranberry on the table counter and pixelated it, and you could convince me it's the same exact thing. I don't know what I'm looking at there. Alright, so let's get off the images for now. Yeah, great ape costume, exactly. Like, really? Alright, so this one's apparently trying to say it's a list of encounters. Oh, here's the song. Reader encounters. Okay. Wow. That's a lot of encounters. Ah. Okay. Well, before we start reading this, let's look at the site itself, seeing if it's actually trustworthy.
Oh, there was something on that page that you were in that says seventh. I think the 7th year of every decade.
Alright. That might line up. Strange and Unusual, Ghosts and Legends, Bookstore, Contact. Doesn't give it. The website began in 05. Yeah, okay. Ambrose Hammond. Do a quick search on Ambrose, who created this site that has the encounters of the Michigan Dogman. Has been interested in strange, unusual since a little kid, reading and watching everything that do with ghosts, mysteries, legends, and all. This is probably a self-written description. Ambrose has actively been searching, and she earned a bachelor's association in English from Grand State University. Her pursuits in the paranormal, other side, to develop Michigan's other side, which looks like it's this. Okay, so it seems like this is a person who has spent a long time actually caring about this. So anything on this site, I'm going to take as the people who wrote on here. They're at least they're aware of what they are getting themselves into by claiming that they saw something on the site. So, if that made any sense. These are all... What?
There was a page that you were on earlier before you pulled that said something about the 7th year of every decade.
I mean,
I think it might have been that one.
This one right here?
No, the one that you were just on.
Oh, yeah. The legend claims Dogman appears the 7th year of every decade in northern woods of Michigan. And it would seem all over the state as well. If you've had an encounter, Cryptid Canine, send me a message. Few of your submission encounters that have been sent to me over the years are below. So there is the lyrics. Alright. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, almost 10 stories by readers of this Mysterious Michigan website, which was made by a woman who has a passion for the unexplained in Michigan. So I'll give it a little bit of merit. I mean, if it really has been around since 05, it's a little bit more than a pet project. So here are the readers. A friend of mine was driving to 7-Eleven late at night, and when a strange, hunchback, large, mangy creature ran across the road. The road is called Hospital Road. That's specific, all right. Hospital Road.
In Waterford.
Waterford. The creature ran into the woods, and we couldn't see it when we stopped. This is no normal dog. If it was a coyote, the biggest I've ever seen. A huge head, and it looked like it crawled out deepest pits of hell. Okay, well, alright, sure. Summer 2010, I went camping with some of my friends at the cabin near Shelby, Michigan. Shelby. Some of their cousins came too, so the night after we got there, I was sitting by the fire telling them a ghost story. We were right next to a little creek, and a ghostly white dog ran by. It was chasing something. I thought it might have been someone's runaway pet, but this thing was huge, size of a black bear, built like a wolf. So we went across the creek. Oh, yeah. As soon as the wolf was gone to look for tracks or anything, we didn't find anything even in the wet mud. Later that night, everyone went back. It was really late. I had heard a really low, deep growling right outside the windows I was sleeping under. Then the camper started shaking again. The eerie growling continued. I knew it couldn't be storming out. When we got back home, we found scratches that looked like claw marks about 7 feet off the ground, right above the window. Alright. So, yet another example of an attempted break-in, I guess, by one of these creatures where people are saying. In 98 or 99, husband and I have been driving through Bristol, Indiana, not far from southern Michigan. Okay. It was dark, and I think it was December. There was snow on the ground. We were driving fairly slow. Oh, really? Saw an animal standing near the side of the road. It was looking at us as we drove closer. Its eyes reflected, dark in color, back legs shorter than the front. Almost up to it, turned and walked away. Not fast, just a casual walk, but it was so dark couldn't see it. Okay, so it was dark. They were camping. It was dark. It was late at night. It's starting to match up again. Huh?
It's usually around night, I think.
Yeah, exactly. So that's good to know. Not fast, but a casual walk. It was so dark. Maybe a Wolverine, but it was too big. Okay. After reading the website shortly after, something hit me from about 5 to 7 years ago in high school. We are surrounded by woods. Algonac. During wintertime, mess around. 1 week, while cutting through the woods, we found a deer. It looked like ripped in half along the trail. I didn't think about it much, but after thinking a lot about it, it didn't look like a human could have done it unless it was the Hulk. Ripped right in half, entrails all over the place. It looked fresh, but I never thought anything of it. Alright, so that's just okay. That's just a possible killing by the Dogman, I guess. And on 4/24/11, my wife and I were on our way back from the store when that was a good movie. It came lumbering across the road on all fours. It was 3 times the size of our old 140-pound German Shepherd. After it cleared the roadway, it stood and traveled across the bean field on 2 feet. This wasn't the first time we've seen the creature. A few years ago, it was eating one of our dog's food bowls outside under floodlights. Looked like a giant wolf. Even the larger dog, the 140-pound Shepherd, didn't command its attention. The creature had an oily smell to it. The sheriff was called out. Occasionally, I'd seen big cats, nothing like that. Okay. Okay. Oh, pardon me. 09. I borrowed my father's Chevy diesel truck. Wait a minute. Under floodlights. So again, late at night. Yeah, we're looking at it after night then as well. So I feel confident saying that this is a creature that likes the nighttime. It prowls at night. It was 10:30 p.m. Again, when I was on 118th Street east of 58th. I'm not gonna write that down. Alright, good, cool. When I saw a small herd of deer emerge on the right side of the road, I slowed down when I saw them. Instead of crossing, they all perked their heads up and started across the road, but there was nothing there. Anyway, at this point, I was about 200 yards away. It slowly approached a deer. I was 50 feet away when it came out of the woods from the left-hand side. It was on all fours, but it looked like it was crouched. It was chocolate brown, bushy long tail, German Shepherd again. Its fur was shaggy and unkempt, and it had pointed ears, a wolf-shaped head. It was barring its large pointed white teeth. My dad's truck's a large Duramax diesel pickup truck. This thing was crouched on all fours with shoulder blades. Same height as a driver's side window. Looking down at the ground, possibly because of the high beams as I passed by it. This is the only time in my life when I felt my life was in danger. Alright, good for you, buddy. I guess it could have been a wolf. He's lived out there for 25 years. Okay. Our family of 5 lived in a small 2-room cabin. One night, my parents had gone out. We had always had dogs growing up. Many large dogs, St. Bernards. It was pretty late at night. All dogs were out on their chains. First, we heard a neighbor's dog going nuts, barking, growling for a few minutes, and 4 dogs in the neighborhood going nuts, barking, growling. Sounds were hair-raising. The window across the room, both of us saw a very, very tall, hair-covered creature peering in at us. Isn't that like the second time we've heard it? It's literally looking in through a window at people.
Yeah, there's one in the cabin, I think.
Yeah. That's interesting. It was standing on its 2 legs and looked unnaturally giant-like and made very low but audible strange noises. We were both so scared we could not move. Tears poured from my widely open eyes. Friend and I decided to take a bike ride one night up near Luther. We had just reached a little bit down our road and suggested timing. Our flashlights were already dim. Caught sight of a man, for my flashlight only reached the bottom of him. I heard a growl, then it moved, disappearing. We raced home, but my friend refused to believe that we saw a Dogman, but I was convinced. So, it definitely likes people. I mean, it sounds like 9 times out of 10, if there's a person involved and the supposed Dogman is there, it almost like seeks them out. Whether it's scratching at the tent, scratching at the cabin, looking in through a window, standing on hind legs. It's almost like it's curious in a way. It's weird. There's a lot of German Shepherd comparisons as well. It was spring in 2010 when my friends and I decided to go for a walk. We left the house, went across a highway and over into country. Isn't that illegal? Did you just rat yourself out? After losing track of time and walking for hours in what turned out to be about 6 miles both ways, we came to a road that ran very close to Highway US 131. I and one friend were a couple hundred feet ahead of the other, got into the middle of the street, and we heard a very loud and deep growling and snarling. The snarling was followed by loud thumps and thrashing about in the weeds and tall grass. Right when we heard this, we both ran as fast as we could in the opposite direction until we were about 400 feet away. Keep in mind that we were both armed with several knives and a spear, which we brought in case of coyotes. So, you're worried about coyotes, and you choose to bring knives and a spear. A spear. Okay. I guess. I rock it like it's Rome, I guess. But I just... Alright. Interesting. We listened as quietly as we could. After getting back out of harm's way, we stopped and listened. After a couple minutes, without any further noise, we proceeded towards it, and on our way home, as we got closer, we could hear the same noise up again and more thrashing. We ran all the way home. Playing coyotes, never anything like that in my life. Alright. Michigan's other side. I couldn't help but raise an eyebrow with the right mention. They were armed with several... Yeah! Even the woman who spent over a decade making a website dedicated to ghosts and aliens goes, I laughed when you said several knives and a spear. So we asked them where they lived at to go armed with for battle with coyotes. And they said, hi there, I live in Portage, which is southwest Michigan, and it's not so much to worry about them coyotes. We're just teenagers with overactive imaginations. I guess... I just, wow, that takes some serious confidence in order to go, yeah, if we get attacked by a coyote late at night or even during the day, I think I trust my abilities with a spear. Okay. Last one. It was about 8 years ago when a couple friends and I were shining a field off of Summit City Road in Kingsley, Michigan. We shined towards the field coming down the road, turned it again. And something stood up and started to run towards us very fast across the field. It hit the gas, and there were about 200 yards of field between us and it. It stood up and started to run toward us, and then when I hit the end of the field, it was 20 to 30 feet away from the side of the truck. I looked down, and I was at 60 miles an hour. Very scary because I never went back to look at it. Video paused. Why are we paused? No. Oh, it's because it ended. Funky jazz. There we go. Hello? Okay. Anywho. It stood up, started to run towards us, hit the field, 20, 30 feet away from the side of the truck. I looked down, 60 miles an hour, very scary. Alright, well, shockingly enough, we actually got a pretty decent chunk of info out of that whole thing. One, they prowl at night. Two, they look a lot like German Shepherds. And three, their bone structure is pretty much exactly like that of a wolf, but more pronounced, aside from the fact that the hind legs are beefier than most wolves, due to the fact that they supposedly walk on their hind legs a lot. Which is interesting.
And we got another confirmation that they're 7 feet.
Yeah, exactly. It feels like the quarry was... You're not wrong. I'm more curious about the behavior of a dogman going to cabins, scratching the cabin. That's less of a dog, more of a raccoon. Raccoons are nocturnal, and raccoons are highly intelligent, curious. They also growl in defense. You know what? That's a good point. That is a good point. Raccoons, they're not afraid to make themselves known. I can't say a lot about wolves. I mean, I know obviously they're predators, but the last I remember hearing, wolves are very, like, silent. They're very careful not to be heard until they're ready to pounce, whether as a herd or individually. Whereas something like a raccoon, they don't care. They're raccoons, man. They're the kings of trash. They'll do whatever. That is a good point. The only thing that doesn't mesh well with is the size. But yeah, exactly. They avoid humans. But I mean, that's how we're also dealing with a wolf that is like 7 feet tall. So I'm not too worried about validating the accuracy of the size of a raccoon. So that was 8 plus 15. I like that. Instead of saying I'm not a robot, you have to do a math problem. So this was actually worth it. The biggest thing out of this whole thing is that it is a creature that comes out at night, and it's not shy in the slightest. Whatever it is not the... Michigan police are investigating a case of a disappearing cabin. Are you telling me that the cabin vanished? A whole structure? And why did this show up when I search up Dogman? Is it even... It's not even here. Thanks, Firefox. I'm glad to know buildings can disappear. DogmanEncounters.com. Wow, that is a very specific... that is a very specific URL. Mainstay. Friend and I were walking in the woods behind my house and recorded on my phone. So you recorded on your phone, but you didn't give the owner of the site the stuff? Yeah, alright, sure. I believe that.
Yeah, I don't.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Like, I never saw it, but in 75, I was newly married, about 21 years old. Oh, man, imagine getting married at 21 nowadays. And had a small baby. My sister, who was a teenager, was visiting us. Husband and my sister, blah, blah, blah. Horrible, loud howl, yell. I mean, it was so loud, made my chest vibrate and ears hurt. The sound was not human. Jumped back, got scared. You know, stayed up all night. Cool. 75. Oceana. 09, 08, I broke my arm and was basically stranded at home. One night, she was driving me home. It was very late. Oh, US 31, northbound. Isn't that, I think this might be the same person as the last one.
Another story, yeah.
Yeah. Well, alright. And then we have another Oceana. I'll just jump around. Washtana. 3 different encounters with 3 different creatures. I know what I saw. Alright. So younger, big German Shepherd. Again, that German Shepherd. Second encounter was more exciting. I walked towards the sound and remember hearing the creature flinch because of the movement. As I approached, I called out for the golden retriever and peered into the trees. The barn had spotlights, and they created a glow that appeared to allow me to see better. At about 7 feet off the ground, large muzzle poked through the trees, followed by the full figure of this creature. It was only 20 feet away from me. So I got the full picture. It was a tall and lean but very muscular. It had a distinct brown pelt on its body with blackish fur on its shoulders. It had huge paws for feet, but its hands looked like they had 5 fingers, so they resembled long human hands. Had a huge set of canines. It looked like it was okay. Yeah. Cool. And then 4 days ago. All right. The same type of creature knocked on my window. My curtains were drawn to give me a view into the woods. Felt uneasy. Window was 8 feet off the ground when I stood up in bed. I saw the head of what I can only describe as a werewolf. Alright.
Knocked on my window.
Yeah, exactly.
Knock.
Who's there? Yeah, exactly. And that's the other thing with a lot of these. Excuse me. Why would you go after a 7-foot dog? Like... It's
to get the clear picture. It's obvious.
And if that's the case, where's the picture? It's like Bigfoot. Okay, all these people say they saw it. Okay, well, if you went after it, did you have your phone out? Or did you have a handheld camera? No? Then what was the point? Were you suicidal? Did you just want to go out there and fight? What was the point of going after if you weren't going to get a picture? I don't get it. Or even a video of the sounds. Like... anything. This is a very long one. I reached my pistol. The wolf moved behind a huge set of brushes to get my picture. As I came around the bushes, came face to face about 5 to 6 feet away from me. I stopped moving. Somewhere back in my mind, I heard "get the picture" as I raised my phone. It growled. I understood. Warning telling me to back off. The hair on my back of my neck. Alright, so he talked to it. I grab air. I run my hand along my belt looking for him, and he doesn't have his pistol. Good job. I turn to his truck. My adrenaline is racing. I'm 6'4", 300 plus pounds. Not the most fit, but definitely strong enough to contend. And that running will trigger the predatory instinct. If I run, I won't make it back to my truck. I reach the truck, grab the handle. Alright. Alright, so he got out, saw it, backed away. That's the right thing to do, right? Like, you don't have a pistol or any sort of self-defense. You don't have a camera on you that you were initially trying to take a picture with. You don't have any ability to do anything. Just get back to the truck and leave. There's no point. Like, that's the way to do it. Exactly, and that's the other thing, too. Like, it's like bad written fanfic. Like, you just so happen to forget it. You just so happen to not get the picture. You just so this. Like, come on. Come on. Some of these I will give real stake in. Like, there are some here where I read it and go, that sounds like a normal human response. That sounds like something that could theoretically happen. But a lot of these, especially, there's a lot of truck ones, which does make sense. Michigan is a lot of hunting ground, so if you're going to hunt, you should want a truck or some sort of vehicle that you could actually put a body into. But at the same time, it's like, really? These trucks, they're all like red trucks with these grippy hands. I don't know. Maybe I'm looking too far into it, but there's a lot of similarities between a lot of these. That's not even talking about the fact that they constantly talk about the German Shepherd. Constantly in these, they're talking about German Shepherds. Okay. So on the Cryptid wiki, for whatever it's worth, however many nuts you want to put into this jar, it was first reported in 87, and primarily of the Lower Peninsula. Again, there's that picture. Don't know where it comes from. Sightings. Yeah, there's... Okay, here we go. So, in 1961, a night watchman was patrolling a manufacturing plant in Big Rapids, Michigan, when he saw a peculiar figure. At first, he thought it was a person until he saw dog-like features. He pulled his gun, was about to shoot when he remembered he had his camera and took it out, took a picture of the horrific beast. The photos have not been analyzed yet, and the photo still remains an unsolved mystery. Is that the photo? You don't really make that clear. But alright.
It looks like a puma, though, or something. Like, you know?
Yeah.
It doesn't look like a dog at all.
Yeah, the only dog part is that there's an ear right here, and you can make out what looks to be a little bit like a raccoon. Other than that, though, there's like very little dog-esque features. And ironically enough, actually, to give some credence to Lord Shax in the comments, it does look more raccoon-like, in my opinion, than it does a canine. Like, that just... like, even the ear... It seems like the ear is longer and more rounded off than point and thin, like a wolf. It looks more like raccoons, because raccoons have very bear-like ears. He recorded a song. However, he based songs on actual reports of the creature. Bill's channel, I guess, said it's a hoax, so... Oh well, guys, we're actually reading to a hoax. Bill said so. Bill's channel. It looks like a dog or wolf face. I mean, I guess, but, like, that ear doesn't match a wolf or dog face. It's so round and, like, pudgy. It almost looks like there's, like, packed fur, which would remind me more of a raccoon than a dog or wolf. I don't know. I don't fully... I don't know what to make of that photo. And I also know where it comes from, because this Wikipedia doesn't have any, citations for the photo. So anyway, oh, here we go. Okay, in 21, Q Burt King 1 said, I'm closely related to an author who writes books about the Michigan Dogman, who themselves are friends with the creator of the song mentioned in the article. Few reported sightings of the Michigan Dogman happened before the song was released, and suddenly there was plenty afterwards. I believe most, if not all, these sightings were made up for attention. My beliefs are shared with the author relative. So if there are any actual sightings, they are buried underneath all the fakes. Some other details I'm able to provide about the creature. It is less like a traditional werewolf, more like a lakey Sasquatch with broad shoulders and head of a wolf. It can move quickly and usually has aggressive behavior. It is described as capable of jumping large distances. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, it does have a very pronounced snoot. Or snoot. Yeah, snout and mouth. But, I don't know. The whole thing, that is straight up Mandela catalog. Indrid Cold? Indrid Cold? Huh. Smiling Man. Alright, something to keep on the back burner. Cool. So.
That is creepy.
Yes, it is. I love it. The Smiling Man. That's freaky.
There's actually a movie that they just released. Apparently it's called Smile or something.
Oh, I saw commercials about that.
Yeah.
That actually didn't look terrible.
So apparently there's a Minnesota Dogman as well. And apparently Minnesota Dogman, the Michigan Dogman, and the Beast of Bray Road are it said that they're all three kind of looking the same. But I don't know if they're in any way related.
Well, let's start paying attention to the Beast of Bray Road, because the Beast of Bray Road, apparently, according to some people, is believed to be the same as the Michigan Dogman. Yeah, the droop snoot. The snoot droops. It's a droop snoot. The Beast of Bray Road, also known as the Bray Road Beast, and the Wisconsin Werewolf, is a purported humanoid wolf-like creature in the rural of Elkhorn, Walworth County, Wisconsin. Folklore books and a 2005 horror film. Really? Huh. Name for the farm road on which it was first sighted. Reports the creature in the 80s and 90s prompted a local newspaper to assign reporter Linda Godfrey to the cover story. Initially skeptical, but later becoming convinced of the sincerity of witnesses. Her series of articles later became a book called That. Reports of a similar creature in the neighboring state of Michigan also tell of an alleged wolf-like humanoid, the Michigan Dogman. So, the Beast of Bray Road is most often described by alleged witnesses as large, between 6 to 7 feet tall, with a humanoid-style body covered in fur or hair, with a head resembling a wolf or a bear. Looking at this photo, my initial knee-jerk reaction, as I say multiple times, is it is more like a bear face. It's more like a raccoon face to me, because it's so pudgy and like compacted fur and the ears. I don't know about you, but that does look more like a bear face to me than anything else. Like, I can see the wolf face, I can see the canine face. I see a very close resemblance to a thinned out, very like angular bone structure of a bear, like wolf hybrid, than anything else in that. And again, I don't know what this is, because they don't give context. I'm assuming this is a photo that talked about that was taken by the Northwoods guy, the Watchman, but I don't know. They don't say. But regardless, it's that I see a bear in that photo, which gives credence to this. Just something to chew on. This is also a short article. The creature was allegedly first sighted in 1936, and then in the 80s, several more claimed to have seen it, with their vehicles leaving long scratch marks on doors and trunks of vehicles. One witness stated she hit something while crossing Bray Road. Upon exiting her vehicle, determined what she hit, supposedly a large wolf-like creature and red eyes, chased her back into the car, leaving claw marks on the rear passenger door. During daylight hours, with several witnesses stating they observed an unusually large wolf-like creature running on all fours through cornfields, pursuit of a deer, which we had that same exact thing through a cornfield chasing the deer in that that one website. I think it was that first one, and then you had the second one that we didn't think was real. That first one, I think, had said the exact same thing. They stopped at a cornfield, and then they watched deer cross the road, or his goats cross the road, and then the Dogman ran across the road and chased at a deer. The Beast of Bray Road can apparently talk? Really? Animal mutilations have also been reported in the area around Bray Road, with animal remains, including deer and livestock, partially eaten with specific organs removed from the animal carcasses. Another witness reported driving down Bray Road late night and observed an unusually large wolf-like creature, an animal hit by the road. Eyewitnesses approached it in their vehicle. Reporter sightings continue. Most recently in 2018-2020, alleged witnesses observed a large hair-covered upright creature in Spring Prairie and loins, both in Walworth County. A number of misidentified animal-based theories have been proposed, including that it is simply a gray wolf, a large dog, such as the Great Pyrenees or Newfoundland. While not common in the same part of the state, wolves are occasionally found in Walworth County and nearby areas. It is also possible a hoax is a mass hysteria. Right. Wolves, American black bears have been cited as well. And then you have the pop culture. So that is interesting. Let's just do a cold search. Beast of Bray Road. Oh, excuse me. 05 documentary or movie. Horror movie, actually. This is the one that we saw in the article. Legends of America. 14 facts. The creepiest animal. Whoa. Now, what is that image?
That looks real.
Alright, I keep seeing this video. Let's give this a proper watch. This is like the third time that I've seen this video up. Now, this is the Fortin Slip Bedtime Stories 22. The sighting account of Dorston Gibson on Bray Road on October 31st, 1999. The account supposedly sparked other people to come forward with their own sightings. And there's their source for this, which apparently no longer exists. The website and all of that. And before we watch that, just a couple comments. Where is the thumbnail image from? It's so intriguing. Is it legitimate? If so, it's huge. Ripley's Believe It or Not. If someone is outside your car, why the fudge would you get out of your car, dude? Exactly. The beast being you see at 50 seconds onward is said to be a real picture. Alright, let's give this a quick watch. Oh, wait, what did you say? Mark, Shackleman claimed he saw a talking half-wolf, half-man. Could be a dog related to a werewolf. I will look into that after the video. That is interesting. Thank you.
Hello, everybody, and welcome.
Alright, yeah. Intro. Yep. Explaining.
Only saw a dark, hairy form racing toward her. She did not see what the figure looked like from the distance at which she was
You
standing.
don't talk about the photo you
but
used.
She did see the figure was quite bulky. Startled by the oncoming form and by the sound of its heavy feet, she got back into her car. She jumped in and was attempting to drive away when the beast jumped onto her trunk. A young girl that she was taking out trick-or-treating and to step forward with their own encounters.
I mean, maybe I skipped over it, but inside he talks about
Driving along Bray
the
Road
photo.
near Delavan. As she neared the intersection of Hospital Road.
Well, that's unfortunate. Okay, so and more. It seems like with these two creatures, with the that's creepy. With the Beast of Bray Road and the Dogman, Michigan Dogman, they're both heavy on encounters. And I know that sounds weird, but like for Cam Blue's experience, which was purely encounters, and for the Dover Demon, which was also purely encounters, there's still... It all made sense. There was a through line. A lot of these are so sporadic that it's like that commentator said in that one video the Wikipedia, after the song was made, I think a lot of people started making it up to get attention. And unfortunately, that means we're going to have to sift through a lot of garbage to get to the gold. The photo looks like a guy in a wear. It does! Exactly. That's the other thing. Like, that photo doesn't even look real. I just, like... It's like such a good outline. It's almost like I don't believe that it's a legitimate photo. I just don't. Reddit, the Beast of Bray Road, werewolf. 3 hours. Okay. Well, that is not what I was hoping that would lead me to. And there's another first-hand account. Huh. Alright, well. What are you guys thinking so far? After we're starting to put pieces together about the Beast of Bray Road and the Dogman. Jordan, Ollie, what are you guys thinking?
I mean, there's not really a picture to prove that they exist. They're all sightings.
Yeah, that is a big thing. So many of these are just stories. They're not like actual recorded event, like literally recorded events. And again, it's one of those things where, well, yeah, I mean, like, what do I do with this? It's so just out there. I mean, it's so easy to fake this stuff. The Beast of Bray Road. Driving home at one night. Since it is captured on film earlier this year in 2018. Yeah, like, it's... I don't know. It feels like every time there's a story that's like, oh, this could be true, it turns into, well, I just so happened to forget my camera. I just so happened to leave this in the truck and this and that. It's like, really? New series, Cryptid ASMR. Yeah, there we go. There we go. That'll be the natural evolution of the Whistlers podcast. It's Cryptid ASMR. After looking intently, the picture of the Dogman looks like a bear face more than record. That's what I was thinking too. Yeah, the one with the that right there. It does look a bit more like a bear. I mean, even like the left ear, it's kind of like tilted back like a bear's would be. So that's what I'm thinking. Let's. I had. I don't remember. Oh. Well, would you look at that? Josh Gates. So for those of you who don't know, Josh Gates is a really good documenter. Like, really good. And actually, let's look this up. I didn't realize. So Josh Gates is a TV personality. And he is known for Destination Unknown, Expedition X, and the Josh Gates Show, I think it is. He did Destination Unknown and Expedition X, which is basically the same series, where he'll take these myths and legends and go out on the field and actually look into them. And apparently he did one on the Beast of Bray Road. Yeah, and the behavior. And that's the other thing too, Shax, I didn't even mention it. Excuse me. The Dogman, especially, all the encounters there where it's scratches and pushing up against doors and whatnot, that sounds a lot like a bear. Bears are very aggressive. Wolves, they are usually either afraid of people or they're in a pack to try to attack people with a sudden, like, pounce in a group. They're not, hey, I'm on hind legs, I'm gonna run at you. Like, that's not a wolf's natural behavior. But let's do Josh Gates and just see what the experts realize about the Beast of Bray Road. Okay, well, I was hoping for a summary, but it doesn't look like I'm going to get that, so never mind. But the point is, this is so big enough that we have TV personalities looking into it. Now, let me look at what you said. Mark Shackleman. Shackleman. And this is Talking Wolf Report. It could be. It certainly could be that, yeah. An American werewolf in America, the Beast of Bray Road. Evil fictional werewolves are yada yada yada. Filler. The history, settings in the 30s, the 40s. Okay. Oh, pardon me. Excuse me. Okay. It is a distant memory for most people in Elkhorn. By the time someone in Illinois reported a similar sighting in '64, at the time Admiral Television Corporation employee Donald Fewlis was startled by the appearance of a wolf-like creature described as standing at least 7 or 8 feet tall and weighing up to 500 pounds. Television connection able to gather a crew to go look for evidence. The next day, although nothing conclusive was found, there was a row of corn that had been disturbed in a manner consistent with a large cannon. That's interesting. I like that. That's intriguing. 72, there were police described as an attempt break-in at the property near Bray Road. It was a particularly fascinating encounter with the beast because it was the first time actual evidence was left behind. According to the police report, the woman who was reported in the attempt break-in gave a physical description of a large and terrifying creature consistent with previous accounts of the beast of Bray Road. Additionally, the beast left a 12-inch footprint behind. Okay. Up until 89, it was rare. However, during the period, the cryptid became much more visible. It's hard to know if this is due to an increasing population of the local area, perhaps multiple beasts. The increase in reports was also linked to the fact the local media mentioned an encounter with a woman named Doristine Gibson had with the beast. Gibson's story was particularly terrifying because the beast appears to have been planning to attack her physically. She reported feeling a jolt against one of her tires while driving home on October 31st. Of course, it was Halloween, which prompted her to stop her vehicle and get out and look around for an injured animal. Suddenly, she caught sight of a large beast sprinting towards her. She scrambled to get her car. Gibson said that as she was driving away, the beast threw itself and back. Okay. Shockingly, there are 3 other reported sightings in 89, making that year more prolific than several decades before it. Russell Jest, local bar manager Laurie Andrees in 89, initially thought it was someone kneeling on the road in the middle, 6 feet of the beast, able to recognize distinct features. And then school children, and it reached the ears of adults after bus driver Pat Lester overheard Heather Bowery talking about it. According to Bowie's version of events, she and some friends were on their way home after playing when they spotted what believed to be a large dog walking by the creek. They called to the dog to pat it, and they were shocked when it turned out to be a beast which stood up on its hind legs. Can you imagine that? Like, bare naked look like humans also. True. That's very true. And can you just imagine, like, you're just a kid. You're playing. You're just gonna go about your time. Yeah, I'm having fun. I'm in the playground. I'm in the woods. I'm playing around with like 5 or 6 friends in a little group. Oh, hi, doggy. Come here, dog. Come here, doggy. And the thing just goes from like a dog to just standing like 5-6 feet taller than you, and you're just a kid staring at it like that. That would be a thing to remember. In the 90s, several reported ones, bear-like or wolf-like. Again, there's the bear. Mike Eaton, a local dairy farmer, saw a creature in March of 90 when he initially thought it was a bear. However, it was acting in an unusual manner. Front paws holding food. Eaton acknowledges he had been drinking at time. Fair, at least he's honest. Tracking the beast. After this flurry of beast sightings, local journalist Linda S. Godfrey was tasked with the job of doing an investigation. There's Godfrey again. It's starting again to remind me of the Dover Demon, because we saw certain people assigned to certain tasks with this, like the police officer, I think. You can look it up. Yeah, I'll look up the similarities just a moment. I want to see that. After this flurry of beast sightings, Godfrey began making her question her skepticism. Eventually, she moved beyond believing it was merely dog-wolf hybrid and accepted dozens of eyewitnesses' accounts all seemed to corroborate with one another. After sharing her findings with local residents via an extensive series of articles, Godfrey decided to keep digging into the story. This eventually led to the writer to making a book. And there's the book again. Going on to investigate other cryptid claims, such as the Michigan Dogman, which we were also looking at the beginning of the stream. A Gable footage. Okay. A short film was released in 2002 and initially listed as an actual footage 70s. And initially listed? It was a 31-second clip, and it very grainy and showcased people having fun on snowmobiles. Near the end of the clip, a creature appears and lunges at the camera. Widely debated, people claim it contains either the Dogman or the Beast of Bray Road. It was stated in 2010 on the show Monster Quest that the Gable film and the second one released later on were hoaxes, but it's possible for anyone other than the people directly involved to know if that's true or not. What we do know is any footage of the supernatural creature subjected to intense scrutiny by the public as possible person in possession of these films decided to state publicly it was Alright, let's give this a quick watch through. Keep going. near the end of the clip. Oh, is that where the image comes from? Oh. Alright, wait a minute. Wait. Let's... Alright, was that it for the creature? Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying? So let's... Hold on. Let's enhance in slow. So playback speed. Let's go half the speed. Alright, now let's play this. So there's the creature. If you can't tell, it's right over here right now at the right-hand side of the screen. And we're getting like slight... Okay, so right there, I see an arm. I see a head. You kind of see another arm. Does that not look like a knee right there? Almost like a person on all fours. Arm, head, knee. Looks like the whole body is slanted down to the right-hand side to help possibly just have whatever this is be more comfortable sitting like that. And then, I'm just saying, I want to believe, but watch the takeoff from the ground. Ready? Watch it back. Right there. Did you see how... So, I could be wrong with this, but normally, when creatures run, like wolves and dogs especially, if you've ever seen a dog run, pay attention to it, they don't lift their backs and then push off. It's more of it like the head starts and then it compresses, decompresses, and then the back lifts. It doesn't start from the back, go forward. It's usually all the way around. But if you watch this creature, ready? I'm telling you, I don't like the way the back stands up. I don't, and just the way it's running, like, it's like hopping. The thing's like hopping too. It's not even
like
running.
Looks like a monkey or something.
Right? Like, I'm sorry. Yeah, they launch with the back, not the front. I think it's a man. I think that's a person in a costume. It just looks so, like, out of place. I don't know. I don't believe the Gable film. Personally. Until 03, always seen solitary, but then Katie Zahn and a few of her friends spotted a group of 3 creatures picking up water and ducking out of their hands. Zahn stated all 3 of the creatures appeared to be wolf-like, and they ran away after the beast stood up, turned, and looked at them. In 06, DNR worker Steve Kruger had a terrifying experience. Why is that a hyperlink? Oh, cool. You actually have an interview with him. Interesting. While working on Holly Hill Road in Wisconsin, the cab of the truck he was driving started suddenly shaking. So he looked into his rearview mirror to see what was happening. Kruger told the NBC affiliate, "Really? Classic media. Something actually interesting. Sorry, can't find it." Whatever. Shackleman described it as covered in hair, over 6 feet tall, when standing upright, with a muzzled face and features of canine and ape. He said that the beast's hands were very strange, with a twisted thumb and only 3 fingers. Shackleman also described a stench that emitted from the beast, similar to decaying meat, and he returned the next day to see if the creature was still there. It was, and this time it spoke a 3-syllable word that sounded like Gadara, with 2nd syllable emphasized. Huh. Okay. He returned the next day to see if the creature was still there. It was, and in time it spoke 3-syllable. Oh, that's the same. Sorry. I just reread it. Alright, well, that's interesting. Thank you for posting that, Shax. I appreciate it. Wow. So it can talk. We have a talking man-wolf hybrid. I don't know. And then at the around same time, 2 young boys playing trampoline on Holly Hill Road. It's real, possibly a timber wolf that adapted or evolved in a very unusual way. Cheesy movie. Excuse me. Yeah, okay. It's barely worth watching. It's easy for skeptics to claim all these sightings are some mass delusion, but this doesn't explain the physical evidence left behind. Additionally, it's important to note most of the stories have remained consistent even when there has not been any news coverage. The obvious reality is that there's no good reason to doubt. Therefore, it is important to be careful anytime you find yourself near Oconee, Wisconsin. Okay. Huh. It's an ape. We have an American ape running around the forest, actually. Talking wolf. Yeah. Huh. Beast of... I'm already forgetting the name. Beast of Bray Road. That's what it was. Bray Road. Sometimes the stranger thing is it can have the truth in it, like the meowing nuns. That's true. That's true. Meowing nuns thing is bizarre. I almost want to do like I might make a video about that one day because it's really interesting. It's not a cryptid, so I don't think it falls under this umbrella, but it's really interesting. Calling camera, Beast of Bray Road. Yeah, right. I don't know. I'm starting to think that this is some sort... And here's the other thing, too, right? Like, look, I don't know how biology works all too well. I'm not a biologist. I'm barely a businessman, and I graduated a business degree. I would imagine it's possible that some sort of wolf and some sort of bear could have had a hybrid child. Like, actually, just look that up. Can a wolf and bear have offspring? I figured that was a little on the nose, but yeah, exactly. It's so poorly edited. Genetic hybrids. A Pizzly bear. I'm starting to possibly doubt these claims. Because here's the thing, right? I don't want to be the skeptic in the room who is only good for being anti, like, popularity. But, the more I'm reading, and Ali and Jordan, please, are you guys still there?
I'm still here.
Okay. Stop me if you think I'm being crude, but I'm getting the feeling that this is an animal of natural origin that can possibly be described as some sort of genetic hybrid, like a wolf and a bear having offspring or something, or possibly like a very large wolf that has evolved into bear-like features that are just having aggressive tendencies. Like, the Dogman does not... It sounds like the most man thing that they're doing is walking on hind legs. No, skepticism is great because it... Thank you, I appreciate that. Because, like, if our definition of putting the word man into something is just that it walks on hind legs, then a lot of four-legged animals can have the word man in them. I mean, we have raccoons around my parts. Literally, we can watch them on our trail cameras just walking around sometimes, like stand up, walk a few feet, sit back on the ground. That doesn't make them a cryptid. It just means they're walking on their hind legs. This is just a really large canine-esque dog that appears and acts like bears, walking on hind legs more often than not. Is that the most unbelievable thing to think that it is. Like, I don't know. Do you think that's fairly? I just.
I have a theory. Maybe I have nothing to like back it up, but I have a theory that maybe it's something that is like cursed. Because
Cursed.
if we go back to like the Michigan, like Dogman specifically, it happens exactly every 10 years on the 7th year. So like I feel like it's something that's cursed that on the 7th year every 10 years it gets cursed to become this creature that people can see. Because it all started in 1887 and it's like 7 years every single 10 years every.
Yeah. My only hang up with that is it seems like there have been times where there have been reports of the Michigan Dogman that aren't on a year that ends with 7. That's my only hang up, because if it is every 7, I would absolutely like go heavy into that. But
So it's every 10 years, I think. So it's on the 7th
yeah,
of every 10 years. So like maybe it's a cursed like human that like I don't know, maybe in the 1800s magic was real.
I
And, like-
mean, yeah, it certainly could be. Is this the actual song that's not poop quality?
At a nameless logging camp
It
in
is.
Wexford
Well,
County.
too late for that. But I don't know. With everything I'm looking at here, I mean, it's whether it's cursed or not. Like, at the end of the day, this just seems like a really big wolf. I mean, if it's of supernatural origin, it could absolutely have something to do with the paranormal. It seems like the emphasis, because that's the other thing too, the emphasis on Indian folklore and Native American folklore, it's very light. Like, it's not nearly as intensive as something like okay, so last week when I was with Cam Blue, for anybody who missed that episode, it was a very good episode. I recommend going to watch it. We do a lot of learning at once, I'll call it. But during that episode, a lot of the time, this idea of the afterlife and especially Native American folklore kept coming up, especially with like how we started getting led into the Cloud Man, Cloud Woman, elderly cloud couple. It's not the most unheard of thing around here. With the Wolfman, I can't say I think it's a curse, but at the same time, and the other thing is, it's possible that the Wolfman is separate from the Wolfman. The Dogman is separate from the Beast of Bray Road, and it could be where the Dogman is cursed, or some sort of paranormal against the individual that is the Dogman versus the Beast of Bray Road, which could just be the bear / wolf thing. I think it's more likely, personally, that it's the same thing, and it sounds like there's also multiple of them. So whatever it is, they're reproducing. But which could also explain, if they're reproducing, could also explain why the sightings are increasing so much. Because if it went from like a few in the 40s and 50s to a few dozen in the 70s and 80s to like a plethora in the 90s and 2000s, like, well, that is kind of on par with population growth. A curse this long is really unlikely. It takes time and recourses to curse somebody with such a strong curse in Michigan. I don't know a whole lot about curses. I will admit, I'm not very well read up on that. I definitely should be, though, if I'm going to be doing this. But, I mean, that could also possibly have something to do with it. So, I don't know.
The other thing I wanted to say as well,
Yeah.
like why we're assuming that it might be a reproduction? Why not like infection, for example? Like a scratch of it would make you turn into one. Like maybe there's like people missing around the area, like a mysterious missing, for example.
Yeah.
Where they have unexplained of where they went or whatever, and that would maybe give us a clue of like maybe if they get scratched, they turn to be a creature, like whatever scratched them. In this case, the beast of the Bray.
Yeah, I mean, the only issue with that is I don't think there have been reports that we've read yet on people getting physically injured by it. Although I could do a search of that. Beast of Bray Roads attack. What is this? No. William Shatner. Huh. Oh, it's a show. Of course, William Shatner. Wisconsin werewolf caught on film. It's this thing again. I'm sick of that image. If that's the Dogman, y'all who live in Wisconsin have a low meter of fear, because that's just a dog walking, man. Like, even if, okay, let's say that's real. So what? It's a dog running around on hind legs. I mean, I'm just saying. Not to mention how photoshopped that looks, but I'm just saying. News report, though. 7 minutes.
Now, for over 20 years, the locals there have been telling stories of half-man, half-wolf creatures lurking in the woods of southern Wisconsin. And nobody knows more about this mysterious creature than Linda Godfrey.
Oh, they have Godfrey on.
She is the author of The Beast of Bray Road and
Finally,
has been on the
woman
hunt
herself.
for the elusive creature for 17 years.
Well, back in 1991-92, I was a reporter for an area newspaper, and it came to my attention that people around the small city of Elkhorn, Wisconsin, were beginning to report to our county animal control officer that they were seeing a creature that they could best describe as a werewolf. When I went around to talk to these people, they seemed like good, ordinary, honest citizens. They ranged from junior high students to farmers to elderly people, and it's remained that way to this day.
In her 17 years of hunting down the mysterious beast, Linda has collected over 400 accounts of sightings throughout Wisconsin.
The reports of...
Alright, so, I mean, there she is. She is talking about how she gathered all those reports. I don't know. But, yeah. Mr. Bray Road. Yeah. It looks like, unfortunately, we don't have any well, fortunately, I guess, we don't have any examples of the Bray Road beast attacking people. But yeah.
But wasn't there reports about, I don't know why I keep referencing back to the Dogman, but like, the Dogman, for example, had attacks. Like, there was a person who had a heart attack, but they had like scratches around them.
Yes. I think, yeah.
And then there was the horse as well that died out of fright.
Let's see. One is strange phenomena. No, the Dogman. One very weird report of an apparent Dogman attack. From the site Beyond Creepy and occur in the country of Mexico. The person who made the report says it happened to his uncles while they were driving at night. So it's completely separate. This shouldn't have anything to do. Yeah, this wouldn't have anything to do with our Dogman. Our Dogman is the cool one. Yeah, there's no Michigan on this. It's just about dogmen in general. Wait, was that in the song? It might have been in the song, actually. Let's go back to that song where Steve Cook, Michigan Dogman lyrics. Old church door, van of hippies, screams near village, bobcat. Happen again. Ah! It was 10 years later, in 97, when a farmer near Buckley was found, slumped over his plow, his heart had stopped, there was dog tracks all around. 1997, Buckley. 1997, Buckley, Michigan, farmer. Died. Wait, was Buckley his name or was Buckley the place? In 97, when a farmer near Buckley, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the place.
Yeah.
Maybe it's
That's a heck of a title. Farmer crushed to death after his dog pushed forklift truck lever. Ugh. Dogs are revolutionizing. They're revolting. Death, heart, stop. I know he did say that he made some stuff up with that song. I'm wondering if that might have been one of them. I don't know. I don't know, but either way, how long have we been going? We've been going for at least a few hours here. They were they were getting close to 2 hours. Oh, I'm sorry. My throat is hurting, so I think I'm going to call it here. So what do I think? I think this is just a case of a genetic hybrid and or genetic mutation, that the mutation stayed within the family lineage, or at the very least, a family of creatures were born to be similar. But I hear what you're saying about the idea of the supernatural being prominent with the Dogman and Beast of Bray Rose, specifically Dogman, and the 10-year thing is convenient. I'm just wondering if that might be just coincidence. I don't really know, but that is my opinion after reading all of these, and I'm sure there's hundreds of more claims of hundreds of more reports of seeing the Dogman and encountering the Dogman. I'm getting the feeling that it's all either just hubbubaloo or it's just the same thing. I mean, a lot of them are at night. A lot of them have the same color for a brown to black mix. A lot of them are possibly mangy. And a lot of them also are like right around 7.5 feet tall. 6.5 to 7.5 feet tall on their hind legs. A lot of them walking their hind legs. I don't know. But that is what I think of it. What are your final thoughts, Ali?
I think I got the ad because there was a recent sighting. I don't know if it's hoax or if it's real, but in regards to multiple occasions where a lot of people had their sightings where like there were multiple people or multiple creature around, so that means that they're multiplying, or there's at least a few. So we don't know for sure like how they're multiplying, or like how,
right,
if there were already originally multiple ones.
Right.
It might have been a coincidence, like you said, like where every 10 years they just happen to show up in front of people, but they're like around throughout all the years.
Yep. Yeah. No, I
Yeah.
think that's fair. So we are. Is Jordan still there, or did she hop
Yeah.
off? Hi. What do you think, Jordan?
So, do you think that only the sightings within like the every like it's on the 7th of the year, blah blah blah. Do you think that they're only like hyping up and giving importance to the sightings that is like 1997, 2007,
I think
2017?
I think that might have been
And-
something born from the song.
Yeah. Because that's all that I see.
Yeah.
Just the years that end in 7. But you don't hear any other sightings of different years.
Yeah. So, I don't know. This is one where I think it's more explainable than not, but at the same time, it's weird. It's a weird explainable, but explainable nonetheless. It's not like Dover Demon. That one, the more I've thought about it, the Dover Demon is like, if I had to do a tier, I should do a tier list like when I'm on my 25th episode or something of like all the most plausible to least plausible. The Dover Demon is definitely like the hallmark of something I do believe in after doing all that research and looking into it. I don't get that same feeling for this. This is something that it's a really big animal. Who knows how it got there? Who knows how it reproduces? The point is, it's there. And a lot of people have similar accounts, so it definitely does exist. I think it does exist. That much I know. Or I shouldn't say no. That much I do believe. I think these sightings, at least a few of them that say the same thing, are honest. That doesn't mean much in the end, though, because it's just a really big dog.
I mean, all the videos looked so fake.
It was
and there were
awful.
Pictures of like raccoon-looking things with the mange. So
Oh, that was brutal.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. But that's my opinion. I wanted to thank you guys for watching. Lord Shax, thank you once again to be in the comment section interacting. I appreciate it. What do you... Oh, I was about to ask, what do you think? You just texted. I personally enjoyed this week's episode. Can't wait for the next week's episodes. I'm more inclined to believe it's a bear with a gene disease that causes to have less fur, if not more. Yeah. I don't think it classifies as cryptid, personally. And the fact that it's just called a Dogman is almost like a buzzword. Like, what's so man about it? It walks around 2 legs? Great. So the raccoons that we see every other night in my backyard, they're also they're raccoon men, I guess. It's just for the buzz. Raccoon men would be cute. Little raccoons in business suit and ties walking around doing business things with a little raccoon briefcase. That'd be cute. But thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you again, Lord Shax, for being here. I really do appreciate it. Again, every Wednesday at 8 p.m. EST, we will be around. And I'm gonna do a plug. I'm gonna do a plug. Cam Blue, who was on last week's episode. He had made an episode with me on this about how he saw a creature that we couldn't explain. Then we ended up just believing that it was likely a very strong paranormal ectoplasmic spirit that was using manifestation of energy around it within the forests of Native American tribes to produce itself to become something physical that it could interact with the surroundings. That Cam Blue today at 8 p.m. as of tonight released a new album. Go check it out. I will leave a link in the description for our good friend Cam Blue, so that if you do like the music, feel free to give his other songs great music. He's a wonderful musician. He's very talented at what he does. And other than that, that is all I have. I want to thank you too, Ali and Jordan, for joining me today. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you for
Of
having me.
course. Can't wait for next week. And the Wendigo special whenever you have it.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun one. I would like to... I'm thinking even maybe like doing like a 5-hour for episode for that one. Just like sitting down, having like a meal during it, and having like a chat with everybody. That'll be fun, but we'll see how it goes. This one wasn't as intensive as the other two, and by intensive I mean it wasn't as like energetic, but A, I'm under the weather, and B, there's just not a whole lot to this one other than it's a giant dog bear hybrid looking thing walking around doing a couple weird things that aren't easy to explain, but it's passable. So thank you all for watching.
And I
video.
mean, who knows, maybe one of the weeks in the upcoming future we could all be like together in the same room watching
That would be cool.
and looking at the different websites and all the different. Yeah.
Oh, that gave me a few ideas right there. Well, thank you for the idea. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Always remember that somebody somewhere loves you. You don't know it yet. And we will see you next week. Since the factory episode's coming out this week, they're going to be 3, 2 before Saturday, 1 on Saturday as always. Thank you for watching. Have a good one. And goodbye. Like and subscribe if you want to. Yeah, whatever. I'll always be here. Alright. Bye, guys.